Margaretta Ruth D'Arcy, born on June 14, 1934 and died on November 23, 2025, was far more than an Irish actress, writer, and playwright. She was a fierce spirit, a vibrant storyteller, and a woman whose courage echoed through every corner of her homeland. A lifelong activist, an unshakable voice for justice, and a champion of women's rights, she carved out a legacy woven with defiance, imagination, and love for humanity. Her estimated net worth at the time of her passing was $2 million, but the value of her influence reaches far beyond any financial measure. A proud founding member of East Donna, Ireland's revered association of artists, D'Arcy stood out for her bold willingness to confront issues many shied away from. Through her work, she held Irish nationalism, civil liberties, and women's rights close to her heart, pouring her convictions into plays, books, films, and public action. Every piece she created carried emotional fire, challenging audiences to look deeper, to question, and to feel. Family and theatrical life. Margaretta's story began in London, where she was born to a Russian Jewish mother and an Irish Catholic father, heritage that filled her early world with layers of culture, belief, and identity. Her artistic journey started astonishingly young. By the age of 15, she was already immersed in the intimate world of small Dublin theaters, absorbing its energy until the stage became an extension of her soul. These humble beginnings shaped a performer who could command attention not with extravagance, but with authenticity. Love found her in 1957 when she married English playwright and author John Arden. Together, they formed one of the most passionate creative partnerships of their generation. They moved to Galway, a place that nourished their artistic spirits, and in 1976 they founded the Galway Theatre Workshop, a space that breathed life into experimental and community theatre. Their partnership produced 5 sons, though sorrow touched the family when one of their children passed away before Margaretta. Her grief did not silence her, it deepened her compassion and strengthened the emotional intensity of her work. With Arden, she co-wrote numerous stage productions and improvisational pieces for students and amateur actors, including The Happy Haven, 1960, and The Workhouse Donkey. But Margaretta herself was a creative force in her own right. One of her most ambitious achievements was the non-stop Connolly Show, a monumental theater project that showcased her relentless passion for blending art with activism. Her writing extended far beyond the stage. She authored several books, including Tell Them Everything, The Co-Written Awkward Corners, and the wonderfully imaginative Galway's Pirate Women, a global trawl. Through literature, she captured pieces of her heart and life, preserving them for generations. A life of activism. Margaretta D'Arcy was never content to fight her battles from the sidelines. She stepped boldly onto the front lines, regardless of the cost. Her activism began in earnest in 1961 when she joined Bertrand Russell's Anti-Nuclear Committee of 100, setting the tone for a lifetime of protest and resistance. Her dedication to justice often led her to conflict with authorities. In 1981, her peace activism resulted in imprisonment at Armagh Women's Prison after she defaced a wall at the Ulster Museum in protest. This experience left a lasting mark on her spirit, inspiring her powerful book Tell Them Everything. The work became one of the earliest and most emotional accounts of the Armagh women, their suffering, their resilience, and their unwavering Republican beliefs. She continued using every medium she could to shed light on injustice. She directed Yellowgate Women, a documentary capturing the bravery of the Greenham Common Women's Peace Camp as they fought against the presence of nuclear weapons at RAF Greenham Common. The film highlighted not only political struggle, but also the emotional strength and solidarity of women united for peace. Her commitment to challenging censorship was equally fierce. In 1987, she launched a women's kitchen pirate radio station from her Galway home, a rebellious, creative act intended to give voice to women who were often silenced. It was raw, it was brave, and it was unmistakably Margaretta. Never afraid of controversy, she drew national criticism in 2011 when she refused to stand for a minute's silence at an East Donna meeting in honor of PSNI officer Ronan Kerr. She stated clearly that her protest was intentional, rooted in her political beliefs, and even amid backlash, she did not back down from her convictions. One of the defining moments of her later activism came in 2012 when she and fellow activist Neil Farrell scaled the perimeter fence of Shannon Airport to protest U.S. military stopovers. After refusing to sign a bond promising to stay away from restricted areas of the airport, she was imprisoned in 2014. Margaretta spent 9.5 weeks behind bars, her spirit unbroken, her voice still echoing far beyond the prison walls. Even in her 80s, her fire never dimmed. At the age of 89, she ran in the 2024 Galway City Council election as an independent candidate. Although she was not elected, the courage she displayed inspired many. She later passionately campaigned for Catherine Connolly in the 2025 Irish presidential election. In a deeply touching moment, President Connolly visited her in the hospital just 2 weeks before her death. On November 23, 2025, Margaretta D'Arcy passed away at 91, leaving behind a legacy of courage, empathy, creativity, and uncompromising honesty. Her life was a tapestry of artistry and activism, woven with determination, colored by love, and stitched together by her unbreakable belief in justice. Though she is no longer with us, her voice continues to echo through Irish culture, inspiring all who dare to speak up, stand strong, and live fearlessly.